The Great War, they called it that, but it wasn't great at all. It was a machine, grinding up men and hope in equal measure. On the Western Front, a new kind of war took hold: trench warfare. Imagine, if you will, a vast network of ditches dug into the earth, stretching for miles. This was the reality for millions of soldiers. Gone were the days of glorious charges and battlefield heroics. Now soldiers were trapped in these muddy ditches, facing an enemy they could barely see. This new kind of war was impersonal, brutal, and terrifying. Life in the trenches was a world away from the propaganda posters back home. Imagine stepping into a trench. The first thing that hits you is the smell. It's a sickening mix of mud, sweat, and decay. The trenches were often flooded, turning the ground into a sea of thick, clinging mud. It was impossible to stay dry or clean. Rats thrived in this environment, growing fat on the scraps of food and, tragically, the bodies of dead soldiers. Disease was rampant, spread by the lack of hygiene and the ever-present rats. Sleep was a luxury, snatched in short bursts between shelling and guard duty. Food was scarce and often cold. This was the daily reality for soldiers in the trenches. The trenches offered little protection from the enemy. Every day brought the threat of artillery bombardment, a terrifying rain of explosives that could turn a trench into a tomb in an instant. Snipers hid in the no-man's land between the lines, picking off anyone who dared to show their head. And then there was the gas. A new weapon of war, poison gas, could silently drift across the battlefield, bringing agonizing death to anyone caught without a gas mask. The fear of gas attacks was constant, a suffocating dread that hung over everything. The physical hardships of trench life were bad enough, but it was the psychological toll that truly marked these men. The constant fear, the lack of sleep, the horrific sights, and the loss of comrades. All of this took a heavy toll. Many soldiers suffered from shell shock, what we now call PTSD. They were haunted by nightmares, plagued by anxiety, and unable to escape the memories of the trenches. The trenches of World War I were more than just muddy ditches. They were a crucible, testing the limits of human endurance. They were a nightmare from which many soldiers never truly woke.